As I was going out last time, Rabbi Letter made first of all, let me give out, over here. Oh, you have, Nach? I say, here. So, Rabbi Letter made a comment, it's something I was going to talk about, and it's in the San Nach, and it's not only this, he also mentions the Malbim mentions it, that it says, Vativki of Leisoicha Vayom Lekon Ishon Kan Lam Tivki Vatukum Kana Achrei Ochla B'Shil V'Achashosoi and Zigan Mispalzan. So it says Vahi Hayoim that apparently the whole time she wasn't Mispal. Now suddenly she's Mispal. What happened over this? Rabbi mentioned it's true. She says that until now she had hope that something's gonna set up down. She's gonna be able to. What happened over here is that Elkanah told her something. Elkanah told her, "Hine lama tivki lama lataytu lama yeravam halayanoichi toivlach miasara banim." Sort of this sort of gave a hint that he's miyayish, that Elkanah is miyayish already. I'm better than 10 children. You don't need me children. You have me. And then this burst out everything. And that time she started being mispal. Until then she was totally that Elkanah is going to be mispal for her.
So that's why she started eating and drinking?
What?
That's where we left off.
Yeah, she starts eating and drinking. By the way, it's very interesting. If you look at the words, Ochla and Shasai doesn't have a dogish in it. It should have been Achla. She ate. She drank. Ochla v'Shasai means after the eating and the drinking. It could be, according to one of the Farshim, that Shitaka didn't eat. She didn't eat afterwards either. The Ochla and Shasai was from everybody else. Everybody else was eating and drinking, and she wasn't.
Meaning everybody else too.
What? Her whole family, the Penina and the.
They ate all the years. Every year they ate, no?
Yeah, but Achla v'Shasai doesn't go and hurts her eating. We said that it could be that she ate. It could be that she didn't eat. It's not very clear. Anyways, it's just sound that the whole time you don't see her talking, but you see that Bihimaras Nefesh. What's Bihimaras Nefesh in the Sun? This is going to the psychology of women. Everybody's married over here, yeah. What Baruch Hashem, may have So if you know how women think, you have to see a little bit of psychology. Women, when they're upset, they say something. But when they're very upset, they give silence. They don't talk at all. And they expect you to understand why they're upset. They expect you to understand this. But us men, we're dumb. We don't understand these things. We know how. We just see the upset. Here she's also upset. Take a look. Elkanah is saying, He says, that's not, you think I know that you're good to me, that you like me? I know this. It bothers her that he doesn't get the nuances. Which nice. This is the thing that they get in the sample also, to compare. How many, this is very interesting, in Tanakh, how many akoras do we have that Mispal, they gave birth, let me hear some names. Of course, last week we spoke about Yaakov and Rachel, and the there's a lot of similarities and not similarities between this whole story, between Yaakov, Rachel, and Elkanah and Chana. Which other Akoras are there? No, come on. Sarah, Rivka, right? And Rachel. Rachel we spoke about, right? Anybody else? In Tanakh. Now we're out of the Torah. Haftarus. You know Haftarus. Mm-hmm. There's more Haftarus, right?
For sure, there's more.
What? Okay, it's Eshes Shimshon Agiba, right? Hine Akara, Interessant. Shimshon's wife doesn't ask for children. She's regular, she's in the field working, and the Mal comes and says, Hine Akara, Bilad Bain.
Not
right?
Shimshon, Manoach's wife.
I meant to say, yes, Shimshon's mother, you're right, Manoach's wife. I'm sorry, I mixed myself up. Manoach's wife, Shimshon's mother.
Shimshon's wife was Delilah. She wasn't.
Delilah.
Yeah. That's Shimshon's wife, yeah.
Yeah.
What you know what Shimshon's mother's name was?
Yeah, it's Salpinus.
Salpinus. Last week, a lady called Salpinus died in Yerushalayim. You know about this? There was signs all over Yerushalayim. Was last week in Yerushalayim, a lady called Stalpinus was nifter, and there's signs all over Stalpinus from I think Bet Shemesh somewhere. And there's a whole story behind it. The Tzadik Lamed Pei Vav Nun Yud Sof. Very very strange name. It's a Gemara, and so there's a story. There's a story that the Yid once came to the chart cover. That the Yid once came to the chart cover with the problem that the wife was a child was very very sick, or they couldn't have children, whatever, they had a child, and the chart cover said there's a ruach ra over here, and the way to avoid this whole ruach ra is by calling child Stalpinus. They call it child Stalpinus. Now, a late was the Ger family. That's the story I'm about to say right now. That there was a story many years ago. Yeah, she passed away.
I don't know.
They're still sitting Shiva, yeah. So what's the story? I'm going on a tangent right now because it's a very interesting story. That they came to many years ago. This Nifteres was a kala, and they came to and while she was a kala, she became very sick, and the doctor said, "No, Yosh, finished. She's going to die. There's no way of getting out of it." And they came to Rabbi Yankele in Antwerpen. And he said he told over the story from the chart cover with the Stalpinus. Sie geben dem Numen Stalpinus. Sie geben Numen Stalpinus. It's Stalpinus Chaya Rivka, something like that. They call it Stalpinus Chaya Rivka. Not only did she live, she was Marek Yomim also, and she died last week. So there were signs all over Yerushalayim last week, right? Stalpinus Chaya Rivka. It was nifter, and this. I think this thing is Sidi Shiva. Anyway, so that's another akara. Can you think of another akara? Also have Torah. Nutzvi.
Besides
Shimshon's mother. We don't know her name either. This Akara. The Hashunamis. The story of the Isha Hashunamis by Elisha. Elisha came to the Hashunamis and he says, what can I do for you? You're doing so many things for me. So a Gechazi was next to him. She said, "Avol ein la ben." She doesn't have ben ein la. So he said, "You're akora. You're going to give a bracha," and she had this son. Later, the son was Chavakuk Hanovi. The Gemara says, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So we see over here, very interessant zach. You see akoras over here that didn't ask for children. You see that Eishes Monech didn't ask for a child. She got it anyway. You see the Shunamis didn't ask for a child. She got it anyway. You see, on the other hand, you see somebody that wanted very much children, like Rachel. Very interesting by Rachel. Rachel, you don't see Rachel being mismala for children. Rabbi, she's angry at Yankov. She says, what does she tell the Yankov?
Holy bonim.
Mesa onoichi. Mesa onoichi.
But later on she died.
What?
Nach.
Oh, very good. It's later on. After she had already, it's very good. After she had already a child, she said Yosli ben Nach, but as an akara she wasn't mismala. It's interesting. By Rivka we find the Inyan of Tefillah. By Yitzchak, by Yeter Hashem, and the Rebbe listened to the Tefillah of Yitzchak. He brought through the Inyan of Tefillah.
I remember vaguely that there's also one that she did daven, and she was upset at Yaakov because she felt that he wasn't davening like Yitzchak davened for Rivka.
This is the Rush. I mean, Poshet Pshat. You go Poshet Pshat in Pesukim, you don't see her davening. By Sarah, it's even more interesting. By Sarah, when she heard that she can have a child, not only didn't she daven, but she left. They told her she can have a child. She didn't take it seriously. She said, it can't be. So just I can't even be.
So maybe that answers why she didn't daven. She didn't believe it then.
Okay, so she didn't, but it's more than she didn't daven. If she was told she's going to have a child, if she even told Avram she's going to have a child, and it told, she left. And not only did she left, and she the term like it's and she denied it later, and he said no, it's a good. The Malach told her no. Like it's a good thing that you left. What's such a good thing about her left? Not only that, the name Yitzchak stayed with us b'doiris to remember this thing that she left, because this showed a new hanhag in the world with Avram Avinu. Avram Avinu had a mahalach in the world of everything being derech hateva. That not only that, he discovered the Rebbeinu Shloim through the teva. He said, "Yesh bira b'leimani." How could it be such a thing? One of the, I'm going off on a tangent, but it's very interesting. One of the nisyonis that Avraham Avinu had was Mila. Why is that in the Sion? It's Adrab. It's brought down the Avraham ben Bishon Techon b'Himoyle b'Sar Losoi, and by Shmuel it says Es b'Sar Losoi because by Shmuel was painful. Avraham was already so old that it wasn't even painful anymore. Rashi says the Mila wasn't a painful thing. I don't know. The Mila was not even a painful thing. What's the Nisoyim? Then listen to this thought. Avraham Avinu found the Rebbeinu Shloim through nature. He looked at everything. Every creature in the world has a purpose. Now you're coming. You're telling him that not only aren't you perfect because you didn't have a bris, but you become more perfect by taking away something that you were created with. That's the biggest stira possible from Avraham Avinu's mahalach. And that's saying Mikstagninu Shalcha. Go after it. You know, you achieved emuna in the Rebbeinu Shalom. You found the Rebbeinu Shalom through studying nature and through being the completeness of everything. But now you're in a totally different madrega. You are Zera Avram Oihavi. I love you, Avram Avinu. You're going to have a totally different derech that you actually change nature. So Yitzchak, you laugh taka because you say it's impossible. Everything is possible. And because everything is possible, so Yitzchak already learned that it's possible to have tefillah. And tefillah can also dorfbrechen. Here comes the tefillah of Chana. But Tidor Neder Vatomer. One second before that, I skipped a few Pesukim. Where is it over here? Vatokam Chana Achrei Ochla b'Shiloi. She got up after she ate in Shiloi. V'Achrei Shasei v'Eli HaKohen Yoshev al Kisi al Mezuz Heichel Hashem. And she got up. It doesn't say Vatelech. The city of, if you ever go to Shiloh, it's a small place, not that big. You just get up and you walk over and you're there. You're there in the Mishkan Shiloh. And the Eli HaKohen Yoshev al Kisei al Mezuzas Heichal Hashem, on the mezuzah of the Heichal Hashem. And by the way, this is the first place in all of Tanakh that it's called a Heichal. The Mishkan is never called a Heichal. The Beis Hamikdash is always called a Heichal. And over here we see Mishkan Shiloh, which is sort of a hybrid between an oil, like we talked last week, between an oil and a bias. It's called a Heichal. A Heichal means a big open room with no walls in it, no chedarim, just a big open room. That's the word Heichal. V'hi moras nefesh, and these is gemein verbitet. Vat espalel Hashem uvachay tivke. Just mispal gemein and zat geweint.
I thought she accepted
What?
I thought she accepted what happened.
She didn't accept it. No, not Chana. Chana didn't accept. Chana was very, very upset. I mean, she ate. Okay, she ate according to some version, but she was very, very sad. She was very, very upset. The Maras Nefesh.
She thought Al-Kuna accepted it.
Yeah, she thought Al-Kuna accepted it. That was bothering her. Exactly. The Maras Nefesh. Vatispala al Hashem b'bochei tivkin zot geweint. Vatidoy neder vatomer Hashem tzevois. Im roi tira be'enei amoschos chartani v'loisish kach es amasech v'nesat l'amoschos zera anoshim v'nesat l'Hashem kol yemei chayov v'moira loyal l'rosho. Very long pasuk, but there's a lot of information in this pasuk, a lot of things over here. But we saw already that Hashem's voice. Now here you see a very interesting thing. The Gemara says there's a blat Gemara in Brachas, Laflam Al from the base. The whole blat Kemat talks about these few Pesukim. So all it talks about these few Pesukim on Tfilas Chanukah. A lot of Derushim, a lot of Chazal. So one of the things Hashem's voice, we said before, and here this is the Gemara. It says, Omer Rabbi Elazar. I'm going to say the words in the Gemara. Miyom Shabor HaKadosh Baruch Hu Esalamoi. Lo yoyo adam shekore lakadosh baruch hu tzevois. Ad shebasa chana v'korah soy tzevois. Omer chana v'nei kadosh baruch hu. Rebbeinu shalom b'chol tzivei tzevois shebrasa b'olamcha kasha b'einecha shetiten li b'nechad. Right? Lord who made the lion and the lamb would have spoiled some vast and permanent plan. Right? If I would have a son, would make a difference. So there we see an anti-santazach, a pshat in what Hashem tzevois means. Tzevois means that, in my opinion at least, that a tremendous amount of Ashgacha Pratius, that the Eibush has so many tzevois and sivei tzevois, and he runs everything. It's interesting that the Rambam.
The last week.
Was?
Spoke about
Exactly, but I didn't go into this prat of the name tzevois. the Rambam has this shita in philosophy and in Jewish thought that the Rebbeinu Shalom created the world and he runs the world, but he runs it through derech hateva. In other words, he makes certain rules of nature that he himself breaks sometimes to tefillah or whatever. But there are rules of nature that run the world. The Baal Shem Tov was very against it. The Baal Shem Tov had gehalten, as in shtu a blet alav is dreit sich ad Eibishter zuk nicht as again. Every little thing that happens is now. L'choira, this thing that the Eibishter needs a derech hateva that he can't run himself is yet moinea from the galus of the Rebbeinu Shalom. The Rebbeinu Shalom is ein soif. What's the problem for him to even to decide that every little worm and every little blet where it should be? It's not a problem. In fact, right now, with the age of AI and computers, this makes so much more sense. It was years ago, before they had this, why bother with so much information? It's just too much. But now that they have, with computers, you can see it's possible to have everybody's face on a computer and everybody's history on a computer, and everything can be known because memory is so cheap, right?
But the Rambam himself writes that Hashem, even though whatever he writes about Hashgacha Pratis, Hashem knows every single part that's happening.
Yeah, it knows, but he wants.
It's not a Chassan idea.
But the Eibush decides that everything should happen. He decides that this worm should move from here to here. I mean, every little thing.
No, it should play out through Teva.
What?
It should play out through Teva.
It should play out through Teva. Teva should run things. What?
That within itself is something great to look at. That Hashem created out of that.
It's true, but it's even more than that. That's Hashem's voice. Hashem's voice means Hashem decides every little thing, every little prat. So
As it comes.
and I don't know about as it comes. It may be all at once even, because for Rebbeinu is above time also, which is something we cannot wrap our minds around. Can you imagine something beyond time, beyond space? It's something we can understand because our brains are not wired to understand these things. But it's the truth. This is interesting, and this pasuk is very interesting to say. There's Rav Shmuel Salant was the Rabbi in Yerushalayim. He was an Adam Gadol Ma'od. He was nifter about 120 years ago, and he came from the Litvak, and he moved to Yerushalayim. He was when he was 13 years old, and after 3 years, I don't know why. A few years later, at the Nach gehabt. And when he was 24 years old, in the year Tofresh, in 1840, him and his wife and a little tiny baby that was just born went to move to Eretz Yisrael. So they got on a ship in Trieste, and from there they went till Eretz Yisrael. On the way to Eretz Yisrael, in the Mediterranean Sea, suddenly there came a very big storm, and the waves kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And everybody went out on the deck to see what was going on. There was one wave after another. It was gefährlich. The captain said he doesn't know if they're going to survive this thing. Then he noticed in the corner of his eye there was another Yid over there, and the Yid suddenly ran downstairs into the hold where everybody's passenger compartment was, ran over there, and came back up and brought a challah. And a challah, he put on a challah on Shabbos, went, threw it into the ocean, and said, Meir ben Yente. And the water stopped the waves, and everything quieted down. Shmuel Salant saw this, and he said, "What's going on over here?" He saw it was an open nest, and so he called the Yid over, and he said, "What just happened over here?" He said, "Before I came, I decided I want to move to Eretz Yisrael. I went into the tzaddik Rabbi Meir Prameshlaner. Meir Prameshlaner said, "You're going to Eretz Yisrael. I'm giving you all the bruchas, as matzliach zan, and you should do well." And he said, "Bavartzi I'm in it." He went to his drawer, pulled out a challah dekel, and gave it to him and said it like this: "Listen to this. In case there's going to be a big storm on the water, and there's going to be a lot of waves, take this challah dekel and throw it in and mention my name, Meir ben Yente." So he said, "This is the story." So Shmuel Salant listened to this, and there's Gabain Amisnagid al Litvak. And so he said, "Okay, Kunsten, that's what Litvak say. Kunsten, Mofsim. Okay, I say Mofsim, Bamas Meicham. And you made a Moifis, attacker was, but that doesn't show how great Rameir Prameshlaner was. Tell me a Dvar Torah from Rameir Prameshlaner." So he said, "Okay, I'll tell you the Dvar Torah from Rameir Prameshlaner." The Gemara says in the same Gemara that we were learning, in the same blot that we were learning, listen to this Gemara. It says that we just said these words, Imroi Tira, right? Boni Amasecha. What's the exact lashon?
V'imlav tira. Elech v'stata b'fnei akuna ba'ali.
Imroi Tira, Om Rabbi Elazar, Om Rachana l'fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rebbeinu Shloilem, Imra Mutav, V'imlav Tira. You see what I'm going to do. Elech v'stater b'fnei elkona bali. I'm going to be mistater with another man. V'chivin de mistaterana mashkeli meisoiter. V'i at oisik terascha plasa. Your Torah is not going to be you're not going to make a joke out of your Torah. Shnember v'niksa v'nizra zera. Because I'm going to give me mistater. I'm going to become a soiter. Take me to the Mishkan Shiloi, right? Give me to my mamarim. And since I'm innocent and I didn't do anything, it says v'niksa v'nizra zera, right? So he said this is what she did, and this was a tefillah that she made imroi tira. So he said, so my Rebbe, the Rameir Pramshlana said, how do you know that this is what she said? Because it says in the pasuk, listen to this. But tispal al Hashem doesn't say mispal el Hashem, spal al Hashem. He said, Rebbeinu Shloilem, don't make your name become erased. What's going to happen by have rachmanas on your own name? But spell al Hashem, because spell that under bunch of have rachmanas on your name, don't let it be erased. And that's when we know that she did this. That was her tefillah. And so Shmuel said, "Oh, jetzt chazer as I got b'toyroichet." Anyway, so in the Tirna in Soyam the Oni Amosach Kartani, the Leisishkach es Amoscha v'Nesat Amoscha Zer Anoshim. Now listen, it's interesting. The Gemara says over here also, Amoscha. It said the word Amoscha 3 times in the pasuk. So
what's Amosecha?
Amosecha, Amoscha, whatever. So the Gemara says, Om Rabbi Yossi Brab Chanina, Sholish Amosais Halolu Lama Om Rachan Lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rebbeinu Shloilem, Shloisha Bidkei Misa Brasa Be'isha. He says that there's 3 reasons that you find misa. Was I ever over on any one of them? So therefore, I deserve to be helped out. So what does that have to do with misa? Because we find by what the Rachel say, the ayin mesa anochi. There we see that a isha that doesn't have yiladim is, or even ish, anybody that doesn't have misha ayin yiladim is nechshav k'meisa.
So in this I saw a word. This one asked Kanievsky. Wusste gewinnt der hätte, Chana made a threat to the Abishta basically, right?
Yeah.
He said, if you don't do this, I'll get a soitis.
Tira, you're going to see what I'm going to do. You're going to see what I'm going to do.
I asked him, Chana Kanievsky, what's the hette for it to be Messiached Leish? This aligns to Issa der Reise.
Yeah, they said that she had Adam hidden.
So Chana Kanievsky answered.
Yeah.
He said, hey, she didn't have Zer Shel Chayimu. It's Nechshav Kames, it's a Kich Nefesh. Similar to what Taisa says by Eliyahu Novi over there, how is he able to matama to the child over there? Because he knew that he'll be able to be machayim.
If he's a kohen. If he's a kohen.
But if he's dead already, how can he be matama? Since you could be machayim, this is pekich nefesh. But since she knew she could have children like this, it's pekich nefesh, that she shouldn't be nefesh.
Okay, very nice. A nice word.
There's an extension to this, but not for now. After the shir.
Pekich nefesh is on the baby, on the child, or on her that she's next to Kemet?
Here it's on her.
Here it's on her that she's next to Kemet.
Over there by Eliyahu Novi, it was on the child. That
by her also, the purpose of it is that
the child doesn't exist b'chlal, but she's nechshav kames.
It's interessant that that it took this. We also mentioned last week that Penina the Toiv Nechsha, but she wanted good. She was mitzayir Chana in order to bring her to the madrega that she should daven. And she davened that she's going to put more. She pushed to it. They also want to find that was because of Elkanah. There's a concept that there's a story from a woman once came to the Koshin Samagid, and she had a very big problem. And he said to the Koshin Samagid, "I'll daven for her." So the Koshin Samagid said, "Oh, this is a big problem." But them tafachum hindet golden rendlich. So he said, "The prinat urim frog, we can't tafachum hindet golden rendlich can't be spallan." So she went around and she started collecting and begging and borrowing, and it took her a few months. She can come with all the koiches. She come with only 80 rendlach. She couldn't come with 100. She came to the Koshens Magid with the money. She said, "Look, Rebbe, this is all I could do. No 80 rendlach, kann nicht mehr." The Rebbe said, "Ich habe gesagt, hindert, nicht 80, nimm der Strick." So she said, "Über so allein davenen." So the Rebbe said, "Oh, du sabach gewalt." It says also the Herzig Rishon said, there's a pussing in Tillim. Ad on the tasterlei, ad on the oshes eitzos benafshi. The Herzig Rishon gesagt, wie lang du hast stura, wenn a mentor at nachals eitzes. I'm going to solve this problem myself. I don't need. I'm going to find a parking space already myself, like they say. That's a joke. I'm going to find myself. Don't worry. But when it comes to him, the level array where he has no more eitzes, then it's no more hastar anymore, and it's no more eitzes benafshi. So this was the matzav right now of Chana. Tidar neder v'toymar Hashem sevogos im ro'y tir. It's interesting. I don't know. I get off on these tangents, but there was a Rebbe in Borough Park over here on 50th Street. His name was the Stechiner Rebbe, Rabbi Yehuda. I once went into him. He's a great tzaddik, a big person. He was married for 20 years, Kinder. 20 years Kinder. And until he decided that Ms. Davin was to so he took his Rebbetzin and they went to Yerushalayim. It's 1937. They went to Yerushalayim and he went to the Koisel and they davened Oskos in his heart and davened in Vatar Ishtoi and had ein Tochter. That's all he had, just the einzige Tochter. And that's right. So that Rebbe, Yudkovsky, and so he wrote to his father, and his father was still alive then. Rabbi Yitzchak's father was still alive then. He was the son of Moshe Rosvadover. Rabbi Yitzchak, he wrote a letter and he said that Baruch Hashem mevartibs gitanayis. So he wrote him back. He said look here. He says, Thomas is a ben Zucher, Zostem Riesen Laser, Nucher Blaisel Jikover, the first Jikover Rebbe. Aber Thomas is a Meidel, so it's a Numen game Chana. Chana? There was nobody in the family called Chana, nothing. He didn't know what his father was talking about, but that's what he did. The baby was born in Rosh Hashanah. This girl, his only daughter, the only child he ever had was born in Rosh Hashanah, and that's the Haftarah of Rosh Hashanah, is Chana. It was a shtickle moifus. She later got, she grew up later, it's a very interesting story. She grew up, regular with Yankov in America, she met her chosen not through one of these, that they do today, we talk to the Rebbe Sheinkel, with Nach Rebbe Sheinkel. She met a Litvische guy's name is Avadia Yudkovsky, and his mother's getroffen, I don't know, it was a Shavchen even. And the Rebbe was upset about this whole massa, that, doch, a Litvak, you know, and just when she told him, when she told him this, he was in the kitchen then, and he like shuddered, and a plate fell down and smashed on the ground. He says, "Oh, it's a simon shmai masib b'shed." So it's gemar the shidduch, and zum chasting hat. And now this Einekel, like you're saying, he's a tiny man. He's master b'tshuva many people.
That's what they gave him the name
Yudkovsky.
Laser? That's what they gave him the name Laser?
What?
His name is Laser.
That could be. That's later on. Laser, but that's today. Yeah.
Could be they gave him the name.
Because it would have been. It could be. I don't know the exact circumstances behind, but he's a tiny man. Now listen to this hand. If let's say she would have had a son. Let's say she would have had a son. What would have happened? There would have been a Shin Rebbe after this one's nifter, and Motl Silber would have never been able to make this on 61st Street, right? So the Irish Tefillah felt it's unbelievable. Now, yes, it's a Motl Silber, and his son is straight the roof of Emunas Yisrael, and he's fantastic, by the way. He can't Chassidish masses. I don't know where he gets all these masses from. It's all. It's not hard, but it's hard. Believe me. He knows a lot. It's bad, but it's that. But and Motl has the whole following. It's huge over there. It's all because the Irish Tefillah developed. What can I tell you? Anyway, it says I'm going for a tangent. I'm sorry, but anyway.
You just can't tell the Stuchina guys on the Motl's Stuchina.
Listen.
You can't tell the Stuchina guys on 50th.
On 50th, the Motl.
You can't tell the Stuchina of Motl.
No, Baruch Hashem. A lot of these machlekes are good things in the end. people don't realize it at the time. They think, but I don't want to go into any details right now. You all know what I mean. I don't have to go into any details. So we said that those are the three things that must. Eli Cohen is standing around over there, and he's watching what's going on. He's standing, and he's waiting until she stops talking. Just watching it, very interesting. The woman's going over there, and the mezuzah Heichal Hashem. V'chana hi medaberes al liba, rak sfuzen no'ois v'koyle lo yishamea, v'yachshavea Eli l'shikoyra. Chana is talking, but she's just moving her lips. Now, this is interesting. This is a chiddush. The Gemara learns out in the Shemoneh Esrei that you're supposed to daven Shemoneh Esrei quiet. When you're davening to the Rebbeinu Shalom, you don't raise your voice. This is a big chiddush because in the time of, in fact, it's brought down that he was surprised by this because Eli never saw such a thing yet that people should daven quiet. Vayizaku b'nei Yisrael Hashem, vayizak Hashem, vayitzaku Hashem mitzar lehem. It's always davening was until that time defined by talking loud, by screaming, by yelling, and for the first time he saw talking quietly. And from this, the Gemara learns out that you're supposed to say Shemoneh Esrei quietly. You're not supposed to say it loud. I once heard in the Nach, I don't remember where I heard this, maybe 20 or 30 years ago, but it's something ungechabt. Did any of you ever travel to the Grand Canyon? No, we went to the Grand Canyon. You were there? Okay, so you'll understand what I'm saying. If you didn't go,
Drove by.
if you drove by is not enough. If you
I didn't really stop there.
Anyway, let me just say, if you ever want to go on a trip, you should go to Eretz Yisrael. But if you're spashet, you should go to it in America. Go to visit the Grand Canyon. I'll tell you why. No picture in the world can describe what it is. The awe that you have when you're standing over there it's just magnificent. All the pictures, the videos, nothing does it like just standing over there and just taking it all in. But you see, very interesting, Santa Zach, you notice it. Goyim, anybody that's over there, everybody's always whispering. Nobody talks loud over there. When you're standing before a great and awesome thing, you start whispering. You can't talk loud. You have to see this yourself because I experienced it myself. I saw the going on there. Everybody's whispering. That's Shemoneh Esrei. You're standing before the Melech Malchei HaMelachim. That's what you're supposed to have in mind. The awe, the yiras haroimimus, and that's supposed to bring you to speak very low. Isn't this on? So there's a Vart that the Vel says that why did he think she's a shikoira? Because she's talking to herself. Today, you see people talking themselves in the street. It's not a problem because everybody has a Bluetooth and has a cell phone, and they're all talking. Everybody's talking to themselves. But a few years ago, see somebody talking in the street and walking in the street and talking to himself is an as a shikar, or as a mishiganer, or whatever. He's hearing voices, whatever. But in those times, before they had cell phones. So he said, I heard the once of Vart that he had the Urim B'Tumim. And the Urim B'Tumim only shows you letters. It was written over there, Kshera. He didn't chop it, and he saw the word Shikoira. See, mixed around the letters. Lady shouldn't drink wine. Maybe men also shouldn't, I don't know. But it's generally men usually drink wine. Somebody once said there's a sefer called Archas Tzadikim. You ever hear a sefer Archas Tzadikim? It's a Musa sefer. It doesn't say who wrote it. So I once heard that the Welt says that it was written by a woman. And it was written by a tzaddik, a woman, and she knew if he'd write the name of a woman, nobody would look into the sefer. And they bring a Aryeh because that sefer, more than any other sefer, hacks on the inyan of drinking. You're not supposed to drink wine. You're not supposed to drink schnapps. That sounds like a woman talking, right? What's this? No.
I think the Chama would disagree.
What? The Chama would disagree. Yeah. Why? Did she rank?
No, she wrote a sefer.
She wrote a sefer. Yeah, it's very accepted, by the way.
Who writes with Pashas HaShavia?
And Bus?
Who writes with Pashas HaShavia?
I have it at home. Yeah. It's a very accepted sefer. A lady called Nechama Lebowitz. Anyway, she's a...
Who writes with Pashas HaShavia?
Anyway. You have the sefer? You have the sefer? I have it. It's an interesting sefer. Anyway. Vatan Chana.
Every week. People hear.
Vatan Chana b'toyim lo yadoini isha k'shas ruach anoichi v'yayin b'shecher lo shizizi v'eshbaich es nafshi lifnei Hashem. Shifrei chamayim libek. It's called pouring out your nefesh. This is a form of tefillah. It's very, very strong. A very strong form of tefillah. This whole thing of harbe tzvois yesh chaba makom harbe. There's a Gemara that also says v'chana medaberes haliba, right? Chama medaberes haliba. Omra bilazar. This is the same black Gemara that talks about chana. Omra bilazar. Mishum Rabbi Yossi ben Zimra al iske liba amra amra from Rebbeinu Shalom kol ma shebrasa beisha loy brasa dover echad levatola einayim lirois vaznayim lishmoya koitum lariach ba Perek pel daber yadayim las b'mulacha raglayim lahalach behem dadim lahonik behem dadim halal. These dadim you make on my heart, this breast shirasata libi lamaloi lahonik behem ten mi ben v'anik ben. Titus Rebbeinu Shalom says you created everything for a reason. You created the ability to be a honig. Why don't you give me a child? She was talking very, very strong words to the Eibishter. And this was also by way of Chiddush, this strong lashon of talking, that a person has a right when he davens to talk in a strong way. He said, Rebbeinu Shalom, give me this for your sake. Lamancha say. Lamancha. And there's a story. Herzig was a big talmidim of the Rabbi. He once came in to visit Rabbi Baruch. Rabbi Baruch was Enichel de Baal Shem Tov, and he was coming to say a stark. He was very he getting a kas. He was so was Herzig Baal. He saw that Rabbi Herzig Baal was coming to visit him, and he didn't want him there. So he told his people, take away all the chairs from the room. They took away all the chairs from the room. So Rabbi Herzig Aliker, Kappa was going on. So he went, before he came into the room, he brought along a chair. So he came in and he sat down in front of the Rabbi Baruch. So Rabbi Baruch told him, Farachat Bedora Zitzman. He said it himself. He said Rabbi Baruch. So he said, there's more than one Chad Bedora. There's two Chad Gadias, so there's two Chad Bedoras. You're talking the Chad Bedora in Sitkis, but I'm the Chad Bedora in Chachma. So he told him, if the Chad Bedora b'Chachma, what did you say about the Kitrig that was b'Shemayim last Rosh Hashanah? So he said, Rebbeinu Shalom does titin mide keneged mide. So Rabbi Baruch said, oh, b'Sataka Achuchim. So the Chassidim didn't know what was going on. What was this whole conversation about? What was the Kitrig and what did you answer? So after he went out, they asked him what was going on. So Rabbi Baruch said, Rashuna Gamin Kitrik as a Yidden, when they daven, they only ask about their own needs. They don't ask about the Gulas HaShechina. Only for themselves. Only for themselves. Like a dog. Only yes for themselves. Only get themselves. So he said, so I answered a bunch of them. I said, Asay lemanchu. Don't do it for them. Do it for your good. Help the Yidden because Yidden deserve a Yeshua because Kvod Shemayim comes from that Yidden of Yeshua. So he said it's the same thing over here. When she was smiled to the Eibishter, she said Barasa b'tzachil Hashem that I have which the dying vainly lahonik. She's a strong lashon to the Eibishter. I was Vayan Eli Vayomer Chil Shalom. The case of Yitnes Shelosech and Sheshalta Mimai. Now it's interesting. Look how the word Shelosech is spelled. Shelosech. What does that remind you of? Vishilias Ayotzin Ben Ragleo. This is the afterbirth. So there's like a double meaning over here. You find a lot of places in Tanakh double meanings. So this is one of the things. Vatoimer Timsoch Shivchos Chen Beinecha. Vatelech Ishol Darka Vatoichal Upeneha Loi Hoyu Lo Oid. She didn't have this anger anymore. She felt that she got a bracha from the tzaddik, from Eli HaKohen. Notice the shtachavoy is constantly in Shiloi. When he came, he said, first says Vayishtachave, then he says Vayizboyach. And again, here's the Shtachavu. They came back to Ramasayim Tzayfim, which we don't know exactly where it is, but it's somewhere in the Har Ephraim. Vayeda Alkona Eskana Ishtoi Vayizkereha Hashem, and the Rebbeinu Shalom remembered her, And this is why we learn this Torah on Yom HaZikaron. They should remember us and keep this Hakoros. Vayilu Tukoves Hayomim, Vatar Chana, Vatelet Bein, Vatikar Es Shmuel, Kimi Hashem Shiltiv. Now, this is strange. Why should the name Shul? Many should name Shaul, right? Is that the ultimate farshim mishazach with this? So he says, Al Shem, El Val Shem Amaisa Hu Nikra Kimi Menu Shaltiv. I asked for him, and I got him. How can you see the same Shmuel Indian of
Shama Kael, Hashem heard.
Shama should be with ayin, the Shmuel.
Yeah, but it's a condensed version.
And all She'iltiv means I asked him. And you can see later, there's the plays with the words also later on this name.
So what does Shmuel mean otherwise?
Shem Hashem, Shemoi El.
It should be Shemel.
In the Malm looked Shaul Mekel.
Shaul Mekel.
Forget the last part.
No, Shemel. The first letter of the first word, Mekel. From the Irish, Sh.
The shit.
From. It's a short. It's a condensed version.
Before, but the Satla Moshe Zera Noshim. So Zera Noshim. I got to say Zera Noshim. So the Gemara says, "What's Zera Noshim?" It says like this. It says, "Kyoser Abdimi Omar Loy Aruch V'Loy Gutz." Not especially tall, not especially short. Loy Gutz, Loy Tzocher V'Loy Gichor. Not too white, not too dark. Loy Chochem V'Loy Tippish. This is the most interesting of all. No, not a Chochem and not a Tippish. Okay, I'm saying not a Tippish. What's wrong with being a Chochem? It's sometimes being, I think the Geribs, and it's not good to be too smart either. People we find there's people in the world that are too smart for their own good. Somebody once came to the Emir Emes talk. I remember the story right now. I heard it 2 weeks ago. Somebody once came to the Emir Emes, and they talked to him a shidduch, a bocher that he knew, the Emir Emes knew. So he came to the Emir Emes. He said, "What does the Rebbe think about this bocher?" He said, "Ooh, this bocher is a pikach." So he was very excited. He walked out, and outside was Rav Moshe Betzalel, the brother of the Emir Emes. He was sitting outside, and he said, "Nu is Hashem Yom Domai." So yes, nu was my breathing gesucht. What did he say? He says, "It's a pikach." He says, "It's also shtinim shidduch." He says, "What is shtinim shidduch?" It's a pikach, no? He says, "Yep, steht in Pusik. Steht Pusik. Misam ilem, oi cheresh, oi pikach, oi iver." They said three bali mum, and in the middle of them is a pikach. So why is the pikach is a bal mum? It's an oiberchuchem. It's not good to be an oiberchuchem. You don't want an oiberchuchem for a shidduch. Anyway. But Tenik has been a look place here. The
Chof Aleph.
Chof Aleph, yeah, okay. Vayal ho'ish al kona v'chol beis is beisoi. L'zboyach l'Hashem zevach hayomim ves nidroi. So he went up back to Shiloh against his yearly trip to Shiloh. V'chanda lo yala. So Chana didn't go up. Ki amra leisha ad yigomel hanar vav Yosef. Let me first finish taking care of him. She was an ukit said to the kid after all these years. Vav Yosef niras pnei Hashem v'yoshav sham ad olam. And he's gonna sit over there forever. This also brings into sound the when he's saying.
When was
Was?
Next year?
No, it didn't happen yet. She said, "I'm not going to go up with you this time because I have the baby, a new baby. I have the new baby's at home, and I want to nurse him and take care of
They
him."
weren't up to this. They
No,
weren't up to
she
that.
says she's not going.
It says Vayal. Vayal is from
No, who Vayal Elkanah?
When is that?
Vayal El Hoish Elkanah v'chol beisai.
When?
The following time after she had the baby,
The following
a year later.
Chamesh Sabah.
A year later, Chavish Hazabov. If that's it takes only 9 months to have a baby. So she had a baby. She had a little 3-month-old
Did he go
baby.
up special when he had the baby?
What?
Did he go up special when he had the baby?
No,
All right, well,
no, we didn't go special. No. And Chad didn't go up either. This time Chana didn't, she stayed home with the baby. She's going to become
So
she's going to
Zevach
wean him.
Hayomim is mashma that it was their annual trip. Ve'es nidrei at the same time.
Vav Yosef, and Niras B'nei Hashem, V'yoshem Shom Ad Olam, and he's going to stay there forever because she said she made a nether. What is the nether that he's going to be with? What's the lashon she used? V'nusativ l'Hashem kol yemei chayav. I'm going to give him to the Shem kol yemei chayav, and don't forget he was a Levi also, so it's very possible that she could be of the kol yemei chayav. Also, it's interesting to say what happened. There's an Indian for Yisrael has a child. He makes a pidyon haben. What happens if he doesn't make the pidyon haben? Does the baby belong to the Eibush in some way? I mean, before they had Levium, it's not very clear. It could be before they had the Eibush made Levium in Parshas Bamidbar that all the Bechorim had to be in the stay around by the Mishkan the whole day and do work for the Mishkan. It could be, and it could be this is what she meant over there. It's not. It's mamish not clear exactly. We don't know exactly what that is. Kaddish li kol b'chor petel lechem b'nei Yisrael b'olam b'mem liu, right? Then later on it says kol b'chor b'necha tivda.
I understand, but from Divrei Yom, we know that he's a Levi anyway. So what's the difference?
Yeah, you're right. You're 100%. You're right. He's a Levi, but it's a certain, I guess, a higher madrega of a Levi of being being in the base of Hashem kol yemei chayav.
Als Levi. Als Levi or als Bechor? Als Bechor.
He's both. He's both Bechor and a Levi. He's both of these things. We'll stop over here.